So again, a big topic that comes up a lot is how can my partner support me during my breastfeeding experience? So a lot of moms will say, I'm the one with the boobs. I'm the one that's constantly feeding baby. How can my partner help? How can my husband, how can my partner help with the breastfeeding baby? So again, it's not always about who feeds baby. There are so many things that you can do to assist with baby. So we're going to be going through about 9 or 10 top tips that as a lactation consultant, I get from moms and families as to how they can support their partner. How can they support the breastfeeding mom? So I do see a question already. That's how can you clean your pump parts, your accessories. And we're going to go ahead and table that question because we're actually going to address the topic today. Again, how can your partner support the breastfeeding mom? And we're going to address that first, just to ensure that those that are tuning in specific for that topic, that we can go ahead and talk about those tips. And then we're going to address the questions that you all have. So again, please feel free to type your questions in, whether it's on Instagram or whether it's live on our Facebook page. Please go ahead and put your questions in, and we're going to make sure that all of those questions are addressed. So I do have your question tabled there about how can we clean your pump parts, your accessories. So we will make sure to address that. And also what we'll do is we will make sure, especially on the Facebook page, we're going to post an infographic that's going to address all of the top tips that we'll be talking about today. Okay, so again, today we're going to be talking about how you can support the breastfeeding mom. And any questions that you have surrounding that, we welcome you to post those questions on our Instagram or our Facebook page on the live stream. And we'll make sure to answer your questions that you have. And anything that is outside of the topic at hand today, you'll still get your question answered. We're just going to address the questions that are relevant to the topic first, and then we'll go from there. So again, thank you for joining us. Every Wednesday, we're going to have a topic that we're going to address, and it's going to be live question and answer. We'll make sure after the live period that we post the video, whether it's on the Instagram story or whether the video is posted to our Facebook page, Spectra Baby USA. So again, my name is Jen. I am the senior lactation consultant here with Spectra Baby USA. I am a mommy of 4, and we are expecting our 5th, so baby number 5, yes, 5, and it is the last one. We are expecting baby number 5 in November. So this question comes up a lot, and my husband, as amazing as he is, there's a lot of times, just like any other partner out there, they throw their hands up and they really don't know what to do to help, what they can do to support you. Because again, as mom, baby is, especially in those early weeks, baby is constantly on mom, right? We're the ones that are cuddling with baby, especially that wonderful skin-to-skin time. We're the one that's nursing, or if you are exclusively pumping, we're the ones that are attached to that breast pump, right? So all of those around us are throwing their hands up as to how can I support the mom. So let's jump right into those tips, okay? So one thing that your partner can do is they can cuddle, they can rock, they can sing, anything that can be done to comfort baby. So especially when baby is upset and crying, as that mommy, that when we're lactating, that's the stress of just hearing the crying really causes our stress hormone to skyrocket, right? A lot of times when we hear any baby, whether it's in the store or wherever we are, if we hear a crying baby, a lot of moms just immediately start to let down, right? We're always like, oh my gosh. So it really causes us to get that anxiety that starts to increase, that stress. So one thing that our partner can do to really help alleviate that stress and anxiety is helping us comfort, cuddle, rock, sing to the baby that's upset, okay? So that's a big reason, and we have that as number 1 on our infographic as to how the partner can support the breastfeeding mom. So again, if baby starts to get really upset, that's one thing they can do to help. Pass that baby off, even if it's just for a few minutes, so we can take a drink of water so that we can walk around so that we can get a little bit of reprieve, right? Every mom needs that time. Another thing that can be done to help the breastfeeding mom is helping to prepare meals, snacks, some ice water, sweet tea, whatever the mom really enjoys to have next to her. And that's really important, because when we're taking care of baby and we're pumping and we're breastfeeding, the last thing you want to think about and the last thing we want to worry about is thinking about what to make, what meal to make, right? That is the last thing on our minds. We're hungry because we burn so many calories by breastfeeding and pumping, but we sure as all get out do not want to worry about making those snacks and those meals. So that's a big thing that your partner can do to support you. And if you're a partner out there, let's start taking notes as to how you can help. Another thing that can be done to help, and we have that as number 3 on our infographic, is changing the baby's diaper or even giving the baby a bath. A warm bath or even using a warm washcloth can really help on the baby's tummy. So it can be really helpful to soothe baby, to calm baby down. It can be really helpful because baby's going to be pooing and peeing a lot in those early days. It can be very helpful to just take baby and go change that diaper, right? Have some time one-on-one with baby to really bond and to assist, but also give mom a little bit of a breather. All right. So again, that's changing baby's diaper or even giving the baby a bath can be very helpful. Another big thing is, because there's always those naysayers that are out there, and as new moms, we are always worried, no matter what number baby it is, whether it's our first or whether it's our 4th or 5th or etc. We worry about every little thing, right? So it's really important that the mom is encouraged to meet her breastfeeding or pumping goals. It's really important that she has a support person in her corner that's cheering for her and giving her that pat on the back and saying, you're doing a great job, keep it up. You can meet your breastfeeding goal, whether it's 1 feeding, whether it's a week, whether it's a year, whether it's a month, whatever the case is. We always need support and encouragement. So that is a big thing that your partner can do to assist, is really encourage you and really encourage the mommy to keep going and to keep it up, and that she's doing a great job, because we can never hear that enough. On the same lines there, because like we said, there's always going to be those naysayers out there, whether it's family or friends that are saying, are you sure you should be pumping that much? Are you sure you're doing this right? Is baby getting enough? Just telling mom, hey, ignore all those negative comments, okay? Let's find somebody that this is their expertise. Let's find that lactation consultant. Let's find that friend or family member that's been successful in pumping or breastfeeding. And let's go to them for the actual evidence-based information, right? So ignore all those negative comments about your pumping or breastfeeding, all right? So that's a big, big, big thing that a partner can do to really support the mom, is just say, hey, not only are you doing a great job and you can do this, but don't worry about what they're saying, all right? Take it with a grain of salt. Put your head up and keep going, because you're doing an amazing job. Another thing that would be a great way to support the breastfeeding mom is to bring baby to mom. All right, it's really important, and even there's a lot of studies on it as well, that mom is more successful during that breastfeeding period, actually breastfeeding and pumping, when she's comfortable, when she's relaxed, when she has less anxiety, less stress. Because the reason why is that it actually inhibits the milk to let down. So when the milk is inhibited to let down, ultimately she's able to pump less, and ultimately the baby actually gets less milk. because it's restricting the milk from actually expressing from the breast. So encouraging mom to be comfortable is really important. And one way that you can do that is allow mom to find a really comfortable area to breastfeed or pump and bring baby to mom, all right? Because the worst thing in the world is getting really comfy and then realizing, oh crud, my pump is over there. Or, oh no, now I have to get up from this really comfy spot and grab baby. Because sometimes, especially in those early days and early weeks, everything's a blur, right? Everything the time just meshes together. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like you're a walking zombie. I love the term when people say I'm a mombie, which is so funny to me because it's true. Absolutely. Somebody chimed in and said, this is why I need a spa day. This is why we all need a spa day. You're absolutely right. So yes, just that hour or a moment, whatever it is that we can get for reprieve, for support, for encouragement, for comfortability is really important. So just bringing baby to mom would be really helpful. Another thing that would be really helpful is taking baby in a sling, in a carrier, in a stroller for a walk. Even if it's so mom can get 20, 30 minutes of a nap or relaxation or to play on Facebook or whatever the case is. Because again, as moms, our minds are always racing, right? We always have so much on our plates and we're already worried and anxious about so much that even if it's just a trip around the street or around the block, it would be so helpful just to have a few moments just to breathe, right? For that spa day or a walk or whatever the case is. Now, in my case, like I said, we have 4, soon to be 5 children. So we have older ones in the house. And a lot of mommies out there are in the same boat, right? We have older children. And when a new baby comes into the picture, our entire day is just engulfed by this new little one. It's amazing how this tiny little bundle of joy just takes up so much time, so much energy, so much effort, right? So just being able to have somebody that can say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take the older ones to the park. I'm going to take them to the mall. I'll take them to a movie. Whatever the case is, just because somebody doesn't have the boobs to feed, right, to pump or to breastfeed, doesn't mean they can't be helpful. They can still take the older ones to somewhere, anywhere that's outside of right underneath our feet, right? Because you're going to have that little one that needs to be skin to skin or laying on mommy, needs to be, rocked, needs to be fed, whatever the case is. So again, anything to take some time, away so that not only do the older ones feel like that they have one-on-one attention, which is really, really important. And they also feel special and important because they are, but also allowing for that little one to have the time that they need also. Okay. So one of the last things we'll talk about is encouraging mom to have some rest and relaxation, right? So especially when baby is sleeping. I'm sure that everybody has heard the saying, sleep when baby sleeps. Easier said than done, right? As soon as baby is nice in a milk coma, right? As soon as baby passes out and is sleeping, that's the moment where us mommies are like, okay, I can finish sewing that blanket. I can put dishes in the dishwasher. I can fold this laundry. I can watch this movie. I can catch up on my timeline and love all those awesome comments of my new baby, right? No. Okay, that's great, but we also need a rest. All right, our bodies just went through a huge experience. We created a life. We gave birth to a life. We are not only feeding them, which takes a lot of energy, calories, and effort, right? But we need our rest, and we cannot help anybody unless we help ourselves as well, which I know for myself, a lot of times I feel selfish when I'm like, hey, I just need to have a minute to myself. especially working and having little ones. A lot of times we may feel selfish to take time for ourselves, but think about when you're on an airplane. What is the thing that they say when the airplane is going down if you need to use an air mask? They say, put the mask on you first and then put the mask on the child. Why? Because if we don't help ourselves, we can't help anybody else. So if we're that, about falling over zombie, we're not going to be of help to anybody. So yes, I agree. We had somebody chime in that says, I'm never able to sleep when baby sleeps. And it's true. I have 4 and I totally get it. Especially with the other 4, we use cloth diapers. So as soon as baby was asleep, I was washing, I was hanging up, I was putting diapers together. I was doing dishes, I was trying to plan meals, etc. But again, we always learn as we go. And especially with this new one, I think one of the big things that I'll probably implement is like a sign-up list of friends and family. When they ask, what can I do to help? We can go back to that tip number 2 that says help cleaning and preparing snacks and meals, is have people sign up to help bring you meals and snacks. I wish I could sleep when baby sleeps, but I exclusively pump since I work full time, and my husband is a stay-at-home dad. So wow, yeah, exclusive pumping is a huge time commitment because you're not only, pumping and washing and sterilizing those parts and pieces, but it's also the time commitment that comes into play when you're pumping as well. So a lot of times as baby gets older, they spend less time at the breast because they become more efficient at removing the milk. Whereas when you're exclusively pumping, a lot of times that pumping time frame stays the same because you still have to spend that time to extract the milk from breast. So yes, but maybe working with your husband or your partner to set up a schedule and say, hey, I have to pump on these times and during this schedule. What can we do to really look at when baby naps and when baby sleeps to see how we can coordinate so that I can get rest too, because that's really important. But of course, as mommies, we can have all the tips in the world, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to get all the support, rest, and assistance that we need. So let's go back through those tips. Tip number 1 would be helping comfort, cuddle, rock, sing baby when they're crying or upset. Tip number 2 was helping cook and prepare snacks and meals. Number 3 was changing baby's diaper or even giving baby a bath. Tip number 4, a huge one that I know a lot of mommies love here, is encourage mom to meet her breastfeeding goals and tell her how great she's doing. The next one, number 5, would be tell mom to ignore those negative comments, ignore those naysayers. Just no matter what people are negatively saying, put your head up and realize that you're doing a great job and just keep going. Tip number 6 we talked about was bringing baby to mom for feedings so that she doesn't have to get up from her comfy spot, right? Tip number 7, give mom some time for a nap or some rest by taking baby for a walk in a sling or a stroller. Tip number 8, if you have older children, they can help by playing or taking the older children so that mom can have some alone time. I love the comment that just came in that says rub mom's feet. That's great. That's awesome. Yes. Or rub the back, right? The shoulders, rub the arms, rub the hands, rub the feet, and better yet, get her a gift certificate for a massage, right? I love that one. The last tip that we talked about was encourage mommy to rest or sleep when baby is sleeping, which I know is easier said than done, but maybe really working together to look at, and again, I'm not a huge proponent of scheduling baby. I think it's really important to nurse on demand, but looking at kind of the pattern of behavior, which I love to say pattern of behavior versus schedule, because scheduling can be so rigid and that can ultimately impact your milk supply in a negative way. So really look at a pattern of behavior of what baby is doing in those early weeks to really see what you can do to help make sure that you're getting the rest time you need. So let's go back to one of the questions that was asked earlier on in this live question and answer that somebody asked, which is a question we get a lot, right? As to how do I clean my pump parts? How do I clean my accessories? Well, it's really important to ensure that you are not using antibacterial soap. So I'll say that again. Do not use antibacterial soap on your pump parts, on your accessories. The reason why is that those little amazing little bumps that you have around your nipple, your areola, are called Montgomery glands. And they secrete a natural antimicrobial, antibacterial type substance that helps to prevent infections, helps to prevent thrush. And when you use an antibacterial soap, it can actually leave a film on especially the flange that can inhibit the natural secretions from those Montgomery glands. So it's really important that you don't use antibacterial soap on those parts, especially the flange. So something like a Liquid Dove or Liquid Ivory is a great soap that I recommend a lot to moms that I've seen over the years. And it would be a great way to wash your pump parts and accessories. So using warm water and a non-antibacterial soap to wash those pump parts and allow them to air dry on a paper towel. And that's really important. In terms of sterilizing your parts and accessories, you can use those sterilization containers that they now make. You can also use sterilization microwave bags as long as you're using the proper amount of water. We've also posted how to sanitize your pump parts with a YouTube video link that you can check out as well. And again, that's a fantastic resource. So if you go to our Facebook page, there is a link there to the YouTube video of how to sanitize your pump parts. We don't recommend that you put your pump parts or accessories in the dishwasher. That's a huge question that moms ask is, well, they have these nifty little baskets that I can put in the dishwasher and just throw my parts in there, right? Well, no, think about the soap that's used in a dishwasher, right? If we just talked about how that it can inhibit those natural secretions that prevent thrush, bacteria infections, chafing, because none of that stuff is comfy. It's really important that you take care of those parts and you take care of your breast and your nipples, areolas. So again, the soap that's used in the dishwasher is one element. But another element would be that there's such variable heat in dishwashers that your parts can actually warp, which is not a good thing, because if you actually need to be pumping and you go to get those parts and pieces out of the dishwasher and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, they're warped, that's not a good situation, right? Because you're hurting and you need to pump, or like you're at work and you have 5, 10, 15 minutes to make sure to get that milk out, and all of a sudden the parts are warped. So that is not a good situation. So we don't recommend that you use the dishwasher. Yes, so that's always a good thing. I will say that we have our oldest two are 12 and 14, soon to be 13 and 15. And especially during the summertime, they're helping with chores, right? And I still pump during the day for our soon-to-be 2-year-old. And they put some of my pump parts in the dishwasher in one of those nice little nifty little baskets, and they thought they were being helpful. And I about flipped out because some of my parts got warped. So I can speak from, not only the professional experience, but the personal experience, that I was extremely frustrated and upset, because I'm like, oh man, now I have to, first I thought, well, I'm going to toss these, but then I was like, wait, maybe this would be a good tool to share with our mommies and our IBCLCs that we support, as well as our corporate accounts, to say, hey, don't put these in the dishwasher because this is what happens. So I'll have to, that actually happened yesterday, and they're still drying on a paper towel. So I'll make sure to post a picture of that to say, hey, beware, don't put them in the dishwasher. So if there's any other further questions, comments, concerns, whether it's surrounding the topic at hand of how to support your partner during the breastfeeding experience, or it's about any other topic, please make sure to just comment here on our Facebook page or Instagram, and we'll make sure to answer and address any questions or concerns that you all have, okay? We are so happy that you joined us today, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to do so. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, we will be covering a targeted topic, but we'll also be answering your questions and concerns live. So please feel free to share with your friends, family, colleagues, and we hope to see you next week. So we will see you soon. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great day.